So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of the Stag, Andrew Scott.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi. Happy Happy Paddy's Day.
You've had a few already.
I have. Yeah, had a few on the train down. It's Paddy's Day, isn't it? It's kind of coincidental, but you're Irish. The film's set in Ireland. I feel we should mention it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Would you normally be?
Hello.
Hey, would you normally be getting drunk at this time and celebrating, or do you ignore it completely?
Depends on the year, really. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Last year I did, yeah.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, but I'm working this year, so I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah, you're doing this. This is.
Well, yeah, this isn't work.
This
But
isn't
no,
work,
I'm rehearsing
no.
a play at the moment, so I can't. Really.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
We'll get to that later. So how did the Stag come about? Because it kind of there's a lot of films about weddings and blokes kind of going to stag do's, but this feels like it's a different thing. It's like almost like
the Stag is about. I don't know if you picked that up from the trailer, but the Stag is about guys who don't want to go on a stag.
Yes.
And I can sort of understand it because organised fun, exclusive male company, it's a bit weird. Organised fun is always a bit weird. But it's infiltrated by that guy who's called the Machine. And they decide to go on a kind of a walking holiday, drinking wine, very low key. And then he comes and wrecks it all for everybody.
He's the only one who really wants to go on the stage.
Yeah, he's
the
yeah.
And he co-wrote the script. That
That's
McDonald?
Peter McDonald, brilliant guy. Peter McDonald. I don't know if you've seen Moone Boy. Anybody seen Moone Boy? But he's the dad in Moone Boy. He's brilliant actor and writer. Yeah. And we did a film, or we did a play a couple of years, about 5 years ago at the National. So I know Peter for years.
So is that how you got involved? Did you just get the script sent to you? Did you?
Yeah, they just sent the script, and I was looking for something that was a little lighter in tone.
Right.
And so I was delighted to do that.
Because we kind of know you. I guess if we haven't followed your entire... I have obviously followed your entire career. I've seen you in every single thing you've done. But we may know you for very intense kind of heavy, evil and all of that. But this is this guy is like a nice kind of likable
he's sort
guy.
of a bit nearer myself.
Is it?
Yeah, it is a little bit near.
He's a bit how do I put it? I don't know. He's not that macho, is he? He's quite...
Yeah, no, he's quite melancholy.
He's a bit of a wimp. Is that fair? Is that fair?
Easy,
Sorry.
Tiger. No, he's... Well,
I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, no, but in the he's the least wimpy of the guys.
Oh, that's true.
But that's not saying much.
No.
And he's quite melancholy. He's quite a melancholy, romantic, loner type, I would say. Not wimpy.
Sorry. Well, I'm thinking of the scene. There's a bit where he gets his compass thrown away, and he almost like bursts into tears about his compass.
Well, the compass has sentimental value.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take back Wimpy. I completely take back Wimpy. And you're filming in Ireland in this beautiful countryside. Seemingly, was that? How was that? Was it kind of? Cold
It was great. It was beautiful, but we weren't wearing any clothes.
Yeah. We've seen that from the.
So that was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah.
We'll get to that later because we've got that clip. Okay. Let's have a look at another clip first. Let's have a look at this and we'll talk more about the film. No. I can tell that you love watching yourself on.
I hate watching myself.
Yeah. Most people do this. They're fine watching. You were like looking anywhere but the screen.
Yeah. I mean, having said that, it's a really good film.
Yeah.
I don't want you to put you off.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good film. But you just watch it and you think, oh, you could have done that and you could have done this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm one of those. Well.
Oh, they used. You wish they'd used another take. Is that?
Yeah, I do. That's exactly what I was thinking. There was definitely one that was better and better.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Well, you can. It is very funny, but I think we can see from that clip that it's you being very, very funny and doing like a full-on comedy film.
Yeah. No, it's
brilliant.
It is. Yeah, I wanted to do that. I've done a lot of comedy on stage.
Yeah,
and I did a sitcom as we were just talking about just before years and years ago. And so it's something I really want to do more of. I hope to work with those guys again. They made a really brilliant sketch show that's a lot called Your Bad Self. That's on YouTube. All this stuff, you should check it out. Some of the stuff is really, really brilliant, and I love that we did a lot of improvisation on the movie as well. I mean, it was a very strong script to start with, but we did a bit of improvisation, and it's genuinely a very, very funny film, and people are really do because it's sort of cumulative, you know.
Yeah.
The laughs sort of increase, and if you can see it with a big audience, it's brilliant. And it's also a little bit sad as well.
It's moving.
It's melancholy.
Yeah, it is melancholy. Yeah. Well, some of that revolves around you. We don't want to give it away, but sorry. And in terms of like this guy, the Machine, who's very funny. This full on kind of demented, ultra macho. Male character. Is he someone you know? Do you know?
I think everybody knows kind of somebody like that. Just kind of you just think, calm it down. Yeah. Peter, who plays the Machine, there's a lot of guys, you know, sort of. There's a certain type of Dublin guy who sort of sounds like that, you know. It's quite middle class. Do you know what I mean? But they're all, you know, it's just where there was always punching you and
and he's into U2. In a major way.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with personally.
What's your feeling? Where do you stand on U2?
I used to like in the film, we should say in the film, there's a kind of joke that there used to be, you know, now. And I feel that way. Like I used to like them, but now I'm not really bothered. Yeah. Do you feel? What do you?
I love a bit of U2.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They people take against U2. I like them.
They do. Yeah. But there's a good running joke about U2 in the film.
There is. There sure is.
And talking of, you get to sing in the film.
Yeah,
we haven't got that clip. We won't. You'd probably kill yourself if we had to show that. Wouldn't you?
God, yeah.
But you have a whole.
But I'm going to sing that. No.
Go on. Go on.
No way. How weird would that be?
Yeah, that would be a bit weird.
Back in the iTunes store.
That would be odd. But you can go and see the film. It's now on now. Yeah, you can see. How was it singing?
I loved singing. I do love singing myself. I haven't done very much. I'm not a very confident singer.
Yeah.
But it's sort of acty singing. You know, it's telling the story through the song.
That's true.
Which is okay. You know, it would have been a bit weird if I was like an amazing singer.
Yeah. That's true.
Bit. But you never get to really sing on film.
No. You don't sing in Sherlock. No. Oh, do you? Maybe a bit. I'm thinking.
For the keen eye.
Yeah. In terms of like doing comedy, then would you, in terms of like making the film and improvising all of that, was it something that they said, oh yeah, let's do some improvising? Was that the plan from the start, or did you all get there and you think, oh, let's do this, see what happens?
They had a very tight script, but they said, so we were allowed to. They cast people quite near. They were from South Dublin, which was where most of the cast are from, and so we just make things up, and so it meant that in between, you didn't have to sort of prepare all the time. You just said funny things, and a lot of them are in the movie. Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at another clip, and we'll see if this is afterwards. We'll work out whether it was improvised. There's 3 clips you'll have to sit through. Here's the next one. It's a good one. Was that line improvised? That was not.
It might have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't know. No, maybe it wasn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Have you been on? Let's ask the obvious question. Have you been on any terrible stag do's? Or
I have been on very few stag do's because I work as an actor. You may get it.
Yeah. Actors are allowed to go on stag do's, aren't
they? You have to choose between the wedding and the stag do, so you choose the wedding, because you're always either on stage, and if you have to get time off or get a day off filming or whatever, so you always miss big events like that. But I don't really mind. I don't really. Yeah, it's a good excuse.
Yeah. Oh, you don't mind? You wouldn't mind going on a stag do?
I don't mind going on a stag do as long as it's just not. I think it's because everybody has to have exactly the same interests, isn't it? That it becomes a bit tense making.
Well, also they go away, like they're always going away to Prague, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
No one wants that, do they?
Grim. Nothing against people from Amsterdam.
I don't think any of this crowd are going on stag weekends anytime soon. I don't know.
They're on a stag. This is their stag weekend.
This is absolutely. Yeah. So when it's shown in America, is it going to change the title? Because it's not. They don't call it that.
No, I believe in America.
Bachelor party.
Pardon? It's called the Bachelor something.
Bachelor party. Right. All right.
Well, because stag do as a stag film is.
Yes, that's a different thing, isn't it?
It's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the other side of Los Angeles. Yeah, good side. Yeah.
So it'll go over to. I think it's sometime later in the year.
Yeah. Do you when films like this come out? It's a brilliant kind of small film in a way.
Yeah.
And reviews important. Do you pay much attention to that, or do you kind of?
I don't know. With this, I really care about this because we made this film for absolutely nothing, and it's very difficult in the film industry for films to survive. Because you're up against these big, huge Hollywood campaigns, and the advertising and everything, and. In order for these films to work, people have got to be able to know that they're on.
Yeah.
So reviews do count a little bit. I also think that people with reviews, I genuinely believe that critics can be quite snobby about comedy.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to make people laugh. It's very easy to be obscure and to go, oh, okay, but actually laughing is an involuntary thing.
Yeah.
So to have seeing the film as I have in Toronto and the premiere the other night and the Dublin premiere, people genuinely are slapping, they're clapping scenes. They really and it works really well. So I really think it deserves acclaim for that. And I think it has been. I haven't really read them on this, but I like to get the vibe, and I hope people go and see it. I promise you, I wouldn't, because sometimes you have to promote things and you think this is dreadful. But this is genuinely funny and very, very surprising, and not laddie and annoying. Because
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, because you might think the film about lots of blokes.
Well, I think you see the Stag and you think, is it like The Hangover, and is it going to be? And it's really not.
It's like the anti that.
It's like the anti-Hangover, and it's also very. It was very important to us that we didn't alienate the female audience, because we wanted to, in a way, it's got more in tone, got more similarities with Bridesmaids, I think, than it does with The Hangover. Yeah. But because it's called The Stag, yeah. But yeah.
And as we mentioned, you are. We saw a little bit in the trailer. You are naked extensively throughout the film, which is, let's face it, the main reason to go and see it. Apart from that, it is very funny. It's very funny. Everyone's very funny. But you are all naked. So, talk us through how long... I mean, that scene goes on for quite a long while at night where you're naked.
We were naked for a week and a half.
A week and a half?
Yeah. It was okay because there were 5 of us, so that helps. But it was the very first day. It was November.
Wow.
It was like really, really, really cold. The very first scene, I don't know if any of you have seen the film yet, but there's good. Yeah. But they not only were we had to wake up in the scene, and they threw wet, cold leaves on us as well. So so I've said this a lot, but we were saved by onesies. We were given onesies.
Right. So you jumped into your onesie as soon as each
but then we had to stop with the onesies because onesies are a pain in the ass to get on.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Not that I would know. But
have you got a onesie? Come on, admit it.
I got sent one. Yeah, I got sent one for something. I think it was a promotional for a film or something. Yeah.
Okay.
I wore it once. This isn't about me.
Does it have feet?
It did have feet. Yeah. It did have feet. Yeah. You wear. Come on. You wear a onesie when you're relaxing at home at night.
No, I don't. I would wear a onesie, but I wouldn't wear one with feet. That's too infantilizing.
Yeah, it is very infantilizing, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look then at Andrew and the rest of the cast naked in
Jesus Christ.
This clip. What? It's true. It's happening.
Nothing more to see. Nothing more to see.
We should say that in the next scene, you wake up in the morning and you're still naked. By the way, so it's true. Yeah, it doesn't all happen at night. There's daylight nudity as well.
There are clear reviews. Yes,
there are clear reviews. When you knew you were going to have to do that level of nudity, did you buff up? Did you go to the gym?
As you can see, look, I'm like one of those 300 guys.
Yeah. Pretty much, but without the CGI. They have CGI on there. Yeah, of course they do.
Do they really?
Yeah, CGI six packs. Yeah,
fuckers.
Yeah. Yours is all real.
Yeah, I think we can safely say it is. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus. Do you? I mean, obviously this is comedic nudity, so that's kind of different. Do you fall into? Would you do anything if the role demanded any level of nudity?
Stage nudity is always weird because the audience are always concentrating not on the play, but they're either concentrating on either looking or not looking.
Yeah.
So it means that it means that they're not concentrating on the play. So I always think on stage it's a bit weird. On camera, it's just embarrassing because it's just there's just the crew.
Yeah.
With the boom.
Yeah.
At least I think it's a boom. I don't mind. I don't really mind. It depends on how confident you're feeling. I think.
Yeah. I mean, a film like this, because it is funny that you're all doing.
People's asses, pale Irish asses are always doing fun.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of pale Irish action going on in the film. Yeah. And would you like to do like a sitcom then? If this is kind of like this, I could see you doing like a big. Are you interested in that kind of thing?
In principle, I am. In principle, I am. But I always thought like I'd love to be in a live situation comedy because it's a bit like the theatre. You rehearse it. But then I'm a bit. I don't really want to. What I really like as an actor is to sort of do lots of different things.
Yes.
And, so I don't know.
So now you've done this comedy film. You think that's your comedy out your system a bit? Or?
Yeah. Just maybe not a sitcom. Maybe not a sitcom because it takes quite a big commitment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But in principle, like to guest on a sitcom would be brilliant. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I also love the kind of situation comedies where there's no audience. You know, like 2012 or kind of more. Droll sort of stuff,
absolutely, And the fact that Peter, who you know, co-wrote this film and wrote that very funny role for himself, are you interested in writing stuff? Have you kind of dabbled in that?
I don't think I have the talent to write. I do a little bit of teaching, young actors and maybe directing, but more teaching. I think my parents are my mum was a teacher and my dad worked with young people as well, so I feel that's in the blood a bit.
Have your family seen the film? And what did they think? What did they think? A, about the film, and B, the nudity.
I didn't ask them about the nudity. Weirdly,
yeah, fair enough.
They've seen that before. They loved it. Yeah, it was great because I haven't worked in Ireland, where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
An actor from Ireland.
I hadn't worked there in years, so that was great because I got to see my family a wee bit as well.
Yeah. And in terms of the location then, was it, those beautiful locations, is they places you've been before, those places you knew?
A little bit, but not I'd never explored that territory naked.
No, no, and you certainly do in this film. So not only do we get to see the view of the views of Ireland, beautiful rural Ireland,
a whole lot of Irish views. Yeah.
A whole lot of Irish views indeed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Let's. I mean, people will talk about it when we. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about your other stuff.
Sure.
There's this program called Sherlock, for example.
Sherlock.
I want to. Yeah, I know. I want to. Have you the story of how you got doing that role, doing your audition for it?
Yeah.
I just want to quickly. Did you do that bigger version of Moriarty when you first did your first audition? Was it? Do you remember like?
Did I do that? Did I do what I did? In the thing?
Yeah.
I think they've spoken about this before, but there was I was sent a script, and Moriarty wasn't supposed to appear in series 1 at all, apart from maybe his face just appearing at the very end of the. But they needed to, because they knew that Moriarty was a central character to Sherlock Holmes, they needed to have a scene to find out if the actor could act or whether he was suitable for the part. So Stephen Moffat wrote that scene, which turned out to be the swimming pool scene.
Yeah. But
it was only as an audition piece. But then they liked it, and then they ended up putting a version of it in the end of series.
Right. So it's almost because you did it. It did kind of that.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you ever think, if I haven't gone down that route, you could have done it smaller and kind of. Do you know what I mean?
Well, do you know what? I was very naive about how popular the show would be, and I watched that. The episode that I was in, episode 3, I watched episode 1 and 2, and it was a big hit all over.
Yeah.
The critics loved it, and everybody had immediate love for it. And I was thinking, oh my God, I am so gonna fuck this up at the end, because I appeared at the very end of the first thing, and I was watching it, and I made the stupid mistake of not watching it beforehand. So I was watching it along with 10 million people.
Yeah.
And so, like, when my first entrance came on, I was like, oh my God, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
You know, usually you can sort of sense what you go, I know what this is, and I was like, God, it's out there.
Yeah.
It's quite a big performance, but in a way, I'm pleased that I didn't get scared and sort of tone it down a bit, because people, I think, when they first saw Moriarty, I think they thought, we don't want it to be this, we want it to be somebody else. You know, they weren't expecting to see my face, I think. And so, actually, in a way, it galvanized me to keep being out there, you know, and doing my own version of it.
And were you aware that as soon as you did do that scene, and by the end of that episode, a few minutes later, the whole world was going, who is this guy? He's amazing.
And some people, I think, absolutely hated it.
Stupid
but
people.
I don't care.
Stupid people.
No, I genuinely.
No,
I always think that it's good to. It's better to have people have very diverse opinions about something, because that means you put your autograph on something, and then after a while they get used to it. Everyone always goes, "Oh, we wanted it to be this way. We wanted it to be this way," and then you go, "Well, it isn't. It's this. This is what it is, and I'm not going to apologize."
But it's because. But it's because it's so bold that it would have that some people not liking it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
anything that bold,
cares?
exactly.
Listen, we're not here long. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. I won't ask you much else about that showcase, because I'm sure people will. But just to say, obviously, are you getting ready for Series 4?
That was really.
Oh, wasn't that such
a round of applause? Look at that.
Sorry, lame. I know, lame.
But no, not yes, but not of Sherlock.
Oh. Series 4 of what? Some imaginary show.
I wish I could think of it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't. Of what? Oh yeah. Oh god. Look, there's a question.
Steady. But do you? I won't say much more. You do know what happens to Moriarty. You do know why we saw that thing at the end of Series 3, though, don't you? I think you mentioned that.
Do I know why we saw that?
Yeah. Why he was back at the end of Series 3?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all. I'm going to talk about.
I always say this. I always imagine I turned around now and said, "This is the reason." Okay.
Yeah.
You'd all be like, "You don't want to know. You don't want to know." It would be so weird if I. No, you'd think you do.
It would be weird. I'm going to ask you a couple of other stuff you've got coming up, though. I've seen Lock, the film with Tom Hardy. Which is just your voice.
He does my voice.
Which is a weird thing. So this film is just Tom Hardy in a car for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But you're very funny in it, because you do this voice performance, and you actually managed to be funny.
Yeah.
Was that a weird...
No, I mean...
obviously, I'm
No, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was that a weird... How was that done? Did you have to sit there?
It was absolutely brilliant. It's exactly the kind of thing that I quite like doing, which is do kind of quite crazy stuff. So it's basically Tom Hardy in a car, and the way we filmed it over 5 nights, and we needed it to be no traffic, because he needed to be able to drive around. So we filmed it between 12 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning, and we filmed it live, like live theatre. And each myself and Ruth Wilson and Olivia Colman and all these brilliant actors had to keep calling him, and he is to get these relentless calls from people. But we did it live, so Olivia would do her bit, and he'd get the call as he was driving, and then I'd go in and do my bit, and it's really just to support Tom, and he's absolutely fantastic in it. Yeah. It's a really interesting movie, isn't it?
It is very interesting. Yeah. There's one bit where you have to. The idea is you're kind of running whilst talking to him with your phone. How did you do that? Did you pretend to run, or did you run?
I pretended to run.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that scene.
No, I did. Yeah, and I was just back from kind of being quite healthy. I was in LA for a while.
Oh, okay.
and
if anyone listening to the podcast, that's Andrew Make's face about LA.
So they had loads of sugar products.
Oh yeah.
When we were filming Lock to keep us awake. So I was just high on sugar, so that's why I was able to.
Okay, that explains it. That explains it.
But it's a great movie, and Tom Hardy is absolutely.
It is amazing. Yeah, it's very interesting. And you're also doing another play at the Royal Court in which you play a rock star.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about what can you say about that character?
Oh, it's really, really exciting. I'm in rehearsal. We just come from rehearsal today. It starts on the 3rd of April, I think it is. And it's about a rock star who's it's about if you idolize somebody too much, there's no room for the human being who's behind that rock star to breathe, so that you have to treat everybody as a human being, and that we're all really the same. And it's something that people it's something I talk about a lot, actually, in relation to being asked about fans and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's very important to say that, and it's touched on in the play that it's a very delicate thing. I think people can be very dismissive of people who are fans of shows and all that kind of stuff. And I think sometimes people can be cruel about fans, but also I think that fans also should be aware that the people that they admire are human beings too, and that sometimes they need respect too. But I think it can be a very coexistent, very happy, very creative kind of relationship.
Interesting. Thank you. And have you been like watching specific rock stars in preparation, or you just?
I haven't. I'm not a great one for that, because then a little bit like on Sherlock, I don't like to because it's very easy to steal, even subconsciously from other people. So there's a couple of people that I've looked at, but I kind of like to create my own thing.
Yeah,
I hope it'll be all right. God,
no,
I'm in that terrible. A terrified state at the moment.
Oh, yeah. So you're rehearsing at the moment?
Rehearsing at the moment,
okay.
yeah.
The other thing I was going to ask you about is Frankenstein, with Dan Rad.
Yeah.
Whoa, yes.
Dan Rad,
as we call him.
Yeah, and J-Mac.
And
James McAvoy.
Yeah. And Sco. And you.
Yeah,
Andrew Scott.
Sco.
What can you say about your role in that? We've seen some kind of pat pictures of you in lovely period costume.
Yeah. What can I say about that? It's it's about science versus religion, I suppose, and I play the religious guy. It's a very kind of complex character, and it's really, really interesting, and it's a big number. I've never done a big studio picture before, so it's really exciting. And it's exciting because the actors at the centre of it are really brilliant, and it's Paul McGuigan, who directed Sherlock, and it's really, really wonderful. I've had such a good time. I just finished on Friday. And we've been shooting it for 4 months, and I think people will really go for it.
And did you bond with Daniel?
What a gorgeous fellow!
Yeah, he's lovely, isn't he?
Oh, he's brilliant. He's an absolutely great guy, and he's doing it really right. I really admire that huge level of celebrity that he has. But what he's choosing to do with his career, he's doing. I'm a big believer in actors doing theatre. Not that you have to do it, but I think it's really good to to learn who you are as an actor. And he's been on Broadway twice, and he's a gentleman, and so as James, and I think always the good ones are always nice people.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's a great man.
Yeah.
Right, let's throw open to you guys. Yeah, there's a lady there with a white jacket. There's a mic on its way.
I was just curious, after doing this movie, if you prefer doing dramas or comedies more now.
I kind of like to do. I always think there's an element of both in everything you should like. Because I often think with Sherlock, not to be talking about Sherlock too much, but Moriarty for me is a comedic character. I think everybody else can be scared of him, but I think it's really important. And the reason that I think he's a unique character for me, and in the way that he's written and the way that we've decided to perform it, is that he's light and he's comedic and he's funny, and because that makes him surprising. And but also there's an air of melancholy about it. And so in this, I think with any human being, if you want to play a proper human being, you've got to have elements of both. But this, the Stag has real human heart to it. I mean, the nature of this is that it's very near to life, and it's quite naturalistic, and I really enjoyed that kind of work.
Thank you, lady in the third row in the middle. Just to challenge for the mic. There you go.
Hi, Andrew. I really enjoyed the film. It was really funny.
Thank you.
I was just wondering if there were any sort of backstage shenanigans that happened, and if you had a favorite moment that you could share with us without revealing too much of the plot, if possible.
No. No, there was a really weird moment we all had to get our clothes off. Because we were all like, it was freezing, and we were in like a church or something. I think we were filming in, and everybody has to take off their clothes. And then Michael Legg, who plays one of the guys, turns out to have this kind of Tarzan-like body, and we were like, that we didn't expect. So we were all kind of disgusted by that, and then started like starving ourselves. No, not really. They just didn't feed us.
Yeah, you're not exactly fat in the film. Let's face it.
No.
Yeah. You hold your own, I'm saying.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. In the front row, we've got 2 questions in the front row. One for... Yeah, there you go.
Hi. I was wondering, how surprised were you and Simon at the reaction to Seawall and the dedication it inspires in so many of its fans?
What a lovely question. Seawall, just for anyone who doesn't know, is a short film that we made with Simon Stevens, who's written Birdland and the play that I'm about to do now, and it's a monologue, and it's really beautiful piece of writing, isn't it? And we released it online, and it's really stunning piece of work. I think it's one of all the things I've ever done. I'm very proud of it. So do check it out, because again, it's one of those really low budget things, and we have no marketing campaign for it or anything. But was I surprised? Absolutely overwhelmed by it, and and for all the people who came to see it on stage. And I feel so happy that it's available forever now, because we did it as a play originally. So yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
If you were to direct or write a film or a theatre production, what would your ideal plot be, and who would you cast?
Oh wow.
Literally anything and anyone.
Do you know who I really dig at the moment is Tilda Swinton.
Oh yeah.
She's so cool. Yeah. I just think she's so cool. There's such an individual, like, unique person.
Have you seen her in the Grand Budapest
No, I
Hotel?
haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Incredible. Yeah, it's so good.
I love the idea. I love how free she is and how she's totally her own person. And, we need people think, people aren't going to get that, but people really get that. The world is made up of totally unique, different, amazing people. I think people sometimes can be too conservative about what they imagine people like. So yeah, let's get Tilda Swinton in it. I don't have a script for her, but anyway, something a bit funny and sad. I don't know. That's what we want.
She'll do it. Right here at the corner.
Hi, Andrew.
Hiya.
Well, congratulations with one more amazing role.
Thank you.
And my question is, would you like to do part 2 of the Stag?
I would love to. I think even if it isn't the same storyline or something, I would love to do something with the same bunch of people in the same process. Christopher Guest and all his. Do they have a name? They probably don't, do they?
No, it's just like that group, Best in Show people.
And they do improvisation. And I love the idea of having a sort of troupe of actors that you work with time and again, except you play completely different parts and you play... or even if they did another sequel to The Stag, it depends on how it does, I suppose. But to work with those people again, there's certainly embryonic sort of plans afoot, so I'd love to. Yeah, I really would. Yeah.
Thank you. Lady standing at the back there.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Did you miss me?
Oh. Very good.
You've been dying to ask that for ages, haven't you? Where were you? I didn't even notice you'd gone. That's it.
Thank you. That's good. Very good. Oh, another lady in the front row.
So obviously you came out last year, and I was just wondering how you decided that was the right timing, and what advice you'd have for anybody else.
I would just say always try and be yourself. I think people recognize what people like in other people is authenticity. They like people to be who they are, and so whoever you are, I would say just try. As a great expression, which is find out who you are and try not to be afraid of it. And that's what I would say to anybody. Be authentic, because people don't like people to be like everybody else. Your individuality is very important.
Thank you. Oh, can you just pass the mic just directly behind you? There you go.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
I want to know which role did you enjoy playing most?
I don't know. It's very hard to say. I'm asked a lot about roles that I've played in the last 3 years, because I suppose I'm a bit better known than I was, 10 years ago. But I mentioned there that I speak to young actors a lot, and I think I always say to them, try not to get too much of a profile too soon, because the work that I did when I was 20, up above a pub in Dublin or whatever, is as important to me as the work that is as well known around the thing, because I got the buzz of actually acting, and there's stuff that I suppose I feel I've yet to show people, because I feel like I've done it years ago, but maybe only 3 people saw it, and variations of that. So I would say that there's work, early work in the theatre that I feel just as proud of, and sometimes with the more high profile work, it can sort of overshadow some of that work. And what I really want to be is to play lots of different things, and so it's hard for me to choose any particular thing.
Thanks. Oh, I should go. Back, just directly behind you. If you could pass the mic. Oh, the mic's back. Yeah, in the middle, lady in the middle, at the back. Here we go.
Hello, Andrew. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I wanted to ask you as a premiere, but I chickened out.
Okay. Oh God, what are you going to say?
Oh no. The scene, without giving anything away, the scene with the tent in the store.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Was that all of you actually in the tent?
Oh my God.
And were there any injuries?
That was so funny to film that scene. I shouldn't give it away too much, but it was, yes. It was all of us. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm afraid I can't say too much, but yeah, it was. And there were no injuries. No, we survived it. Just a little bit claustrophobic.
That is a very good scene, yeah. Just the third row on, three from the end, yeah. Just there, yeah. Sorry, my eyesight's going.
Hello.
Hello.
I've forgotten, sorry.
Sorry.
I was wondering, if you could play any famous person in a biopic, who would it be?
Oh my God, what if I...
Well, you did play Paul McCartney, didn't you?
I did, I played Paul McCartney. Yeah. I don't know, maybe Anne Widdecombe?
Good choice.
But the musical.
Yes. Well, you look more like Anne Widdecombe than Paul McCartney, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm as talented a dancer. No, not to be... do you know what? There's somebody I look like who's an artist called Egon Schiele.
Ah, yeah.
And I actually look very like him. Yeah. And I've always wanted... I'm big into drawing and painting. And I've always wanted to do a little bit of that in to incorporate the two two things. So yeah, there's a beautiful I absolutely love his work, and he's called Egon Schiele. So, but there's no plans to make a film about him. So I mean,
maybe there will be now. Now people are listening to this thing. I think the Egon Schiele project is going to take off.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.
And time for a couple more questions. Just a lady in the front there, just two from the end.
Hi, Andrew. Thank
Hello.
you for being here.
No problem.
In November, you were Prior at the National Theatre's 50th anniversary, and you were in Angels in America. And a lot of us really enjoyed you in that role, and we were wondering if there were plans to reprise Angels in America on stage, and if you would be interested in playing Prior Walter.
Oh, that's a very good question. There aren't any plans as at the moment. The National Theatre was 50 years old in when was it, November, and it was a really extraordinary thing because I got to work with, you got to see really all the heroes that I've worshipped since I was a kid, and all the contemporaries. Benedict was in it, and Rory Kinnear, and really brilliant actors. That Anna Maxwell Martin and some amazing people. And there was a great moment the day before where we had the dress rehearsal, and all the actors, Judi Dench and Maggie Smith and Michael Gambon, and they were all sitting in the auditorium watching everybody do their dress rehearsal. And then when it was your bit, we followed Judi Dench.
She sang a brilliant song, wasn't she?
She sang a little light music, and so then you go up and do your bit, and there was incredible atmosphere before. There was no one else in the theatre, and it was just the most extraordinary feeling of just getting to perform for your idols, and then watching your idols, and just so near. And I was so grateful to be there and to get to do that. That Angels in America is really beautiful, and people have responded to that really extraordinarily. It was amazing. And I'm glad you're saying that because you're an American person yourself, are you?
Well, I'm from Atlanta in particular, and it's having AIDS is making a big comeback in Atlanta.
Is it really?
Yes. There's all these billboards in Atlanta saying, get tested, get your children tested. Yeah. And I guess it's something people just... forgot about.
The war's never over, as they say.
It's never over, no. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Thank
you.
So welcome. And we have time for one more question. We go. I've caught the eye of that lady there. There you go, to the back. Sorry, I haven't got more time.
As an actor, what do you look for in a director?
In a director?
Just not to be drunk. I don't like when directors are too... I don't like when directors are too all over you, controlling. But then it's kind of a lot of directors. That's what they're in.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just it's the balance between allowing you to do what you're good at and enabling that. And a lot of directors, a lot of them are kind of scared of actors. I like when they're interested in actors and they can sort of match you a little bit rather than just being interested in how it looks visually, to be able to sort of understand psychologically what you're doing. But I've been very lucky with directors, I must say.
Great questions. Thank you for all your questions. We have run out of time. Sorry. So The Stag is out now in cinemas. Go and see it if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, please do.
Very
really
funny,
genuinely enjoy it.
Moving, and you get to see Andrew Scott naked. Thanks, Andrew, for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you all for coming. don't want to give it away, but sorry. And in terms of like this guy, the Machine, who's very funny, this full-on kind of demented, ultra macho male character. Is he someone you know? Do you know?
I think everybody knows kind of somebody like that. Just kind of where you just think, calm it down, calm it down. Yeah. Peter, who plays the Machine, there's a lot of guys, you know, sort of. There's a certain type of Dublin guy who sort of sounds like that, you know. It's kind of it's quite middle class. Do you know what I mean? But they're all, you know, it's just where there's always punching you and that
and he's into U2 in a major way.
yeah.
Which I don't have a problem with personally.
What's your feeling? Where do you stand on U2?
I used to like in the film. We should say in the film, there's a kind of joke that there used to be, you know, now. And I feel that way. Like I used to like them, but now I'm not really bothered. Yeah. Do you feel? What do you?
I love a bit of U2.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They people take against U2. I like them.
They do. Yeah. But I like, there's a good running joke about U2 in
there
the film.
Is. There is. There sure is.
And talking of, you get to sing in the film.
Yeah,
we haven't got that clip. We won't. You'd probably kill yourself if we had to show that. Wouldn't you?
God, yeah.
But you have a whole.
But I'm going to sing that. No.
Go on. Go on.
Having said that, it's a really good film. I don't want to put you off. No, it's a really good film. But you know, you just watch it and you think, oh, you could have done that and you could have done this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Well. Or they use you wish they'd use another take. Is that?
Yeah, I do. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, there was definitely one that was better and better.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Well, you can. It is very funny, but I think we can see from that clip that it's you being very, very funny and doing like a full-on comedy film.
No, it's it is. Yeah, I wanted to do that. I've done a lot of comedy on stage.
Yeah,
and I did a sitcom, as we were just talking about just before years and years ago. And so it's something I really want to do more of. I hope to work with those guys again. They made a really brilliant sketch show. That's a lot called Your Bad Self. That's on YouTube. A lot of the stuff, you should check it out. Some of the stuff is really, really brilliant. And I loved it. We did a lot of improvisation on the movie as well. I mean, it was a very strong script to start with, but we did a bit of improvisation, and it's genuinely a very, very funny film. And people are really because it's sort of cumulative, you know. The laughs sort of increase, and if you can see it with a big audience, it's brilliant. And it's also a little bit sad as well.
It's moving.
It's melancholy.
Yeah, it is melancholy. Yeah. Well, some of that revolves around you. We went. I don't know. He's not that macho, is he? He's quite.
Yeah, no, he's quite melancholy.
He's a bit of a wimp. Is that fair? Is that fair?
Easy,
sorry.
Tiger. No, he's.
Well, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah, no, but in the he's the least wimpy of the guys.
Oh, that's true.
But that's not saying much.
No.
And he's quite melancholy. He's quite a melancholy, romantic loner type. I would say. Not wimpy.
Sorry. Well, I'm thinking of the scene. There's a bit where he gets his compass thrown away, and he almost like bursts into tears about his compass.
Well, the compass has sentimental value.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'll take back wimpy. I completely take back wimpy. And you're filming in Ireland in this beautiful countryside. Seemingly, was that? How was that? Was it kind of? Cold?
It was great. It was beautiful, but we weren't wearing any clothes.
Yeah. We've seen that from the.
So that was terrible.
Was it?
Yeah.
We'll get to that later because we've got that clip. Okay. Let's have a look at another clip first. Let's have a look at this and we'll talk more about the film. No. I can tell that you love watching yourself on.
I hate watching myself.
Yeah. Like most people do this. They're fine watching. Like you were like looking anywhere but the screen.
Yeah. I mean, and I can sort of understand it because organized fun. Exclusive male company, you know, it's a bit weird. Organized fun is always a bit weird, but it's infiltrated by that guy who's called the Machine, and they decide to go on a kind of a walking holiday, you know, drinking wine, very low key, and then he comes and wrecks it all for everybody.
He's the only one who really wants to go on the stage.
Yeah, he's the
And he co-wrote the script.
Peter McDonald. That's Peter McDonald, brilliant guy. Peter McDonald. I don't know if you've seen Moone Boy. Anybody seen Moone Boy? But he's the dad in Moone Boy. He's brilliant actor and writer. Yeah. And we did a film, or we did a play a couple of years, about 5 years ago at the National. So I know Peter for years.
So is that how you got involved? Did you just get the script sent to you? Did you?
Yeah, they just sent the script, and I was looking for something that was a little lighter in tone.
Right.
And so I was delighted to do that.
Because we kind of know you. I guess if we haven't followed your entire... I have obviously followed your entire career. I've seen you in every single thing you've done. But we may know you for very intense kind of heavy, evil and all of that. But this is this guy is like a nice kind of likable
he's sort
guy.
of a bit nearer myself.
Is it?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
He's a bit. How do I put it? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the star of the Stag, Andrew Scott.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi. Happy Happy Paddy's Day.
You've had a few already, have
you? Yeah, had a few on the train down. It's Paddy's Day, isn't it? It's kind of
it sure
coincidental, but you're Irish, the film's set in Ireland. I feel we should mention it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Would you normally be...
Hello.
Hey. Would you normally be getting drunk at this time and celebrating, or do you ignore it completely?
Depends on the year, really, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Last year I did, yeah.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, but I'm working this year, so I can't.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, you're doing this. This is.
Well, this is work.
This
but
is
no,
work,
I'm rehearsing a play at the moment, so I can't.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. So how did the Stag come about? Because it kind of there's a lot of films about weddings and blokes kind of going to stag do's, but this feels like it's a different thing. It's like almost like
the Stag is about, I don't know if you picked that up from the trailer, but the Stag is about guys who don't want to go on a stag.
Yes.